These are the scenes of protests in solidarity with Palestinians and hashtag Palestinian Lives Matter raging across the world, in London and in countries like Kuwait, Oman, Pakistan, Tunisia and Turkey. And these are the most recent scenes of the deadly exchange of fire between Palestinian militants in the Gaza Strip and the Israeli military. The situation has intensified to an extent the UN and the global fraternity is now urging immediate de-escalation, fearing a full-scale war. United Nations Middle East Peace Envoy Tor Wennesland has asked leaders on all sides to take the responsibility of de-escalation. Meanwhile, world leaders have also urged for calm in Jerusalem, the latest flashpoint in the Israel-Palestinian conflict after the Israeli police clashed with worshippers inside the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound on Monday. The UAE has condemned the violence in Jerusalem and called on the Israeli authorities to take responsibility for de-escalation and to end all attacks and practices that lead to continued tension.
I had a conversation with Bibi Netanyahu not too long ago. I'll be putting out a statement very shortly on that. My expectation and hope is that this will be closing down sooner than later. But Israel has a right to defend itself when you have thousands of rockets flying into
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said that he is gravely concerned by the ongoing violence. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has urged Israel and the Palestinians to step back from the brink. The European Union's top diplomat has also called for calm in Jerusalem. This is the most intensive aerial exchange between the two countries since the 2014 war in Gaza. But what caused the escalation? For weeks, tensions were simmering in Jerusalem between the city's minority Arab citizens and right-wing Jews over planned eviction of Palestinian families from the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood of East Jerusalem. The impending court ruling on the fate of the Palestinian families was ultimately postponed due to the unrest. The violence on Monday began after the Israeli police stormed the mosque compound and fired rubber bullets and stun grenades at stone-throwing Palestinians. The March in Jerusalem Day, an annual event observed by Jews to mark the capture of East Jerusalem in 1967, also intensified the clashes. By the afternoon, more than 330 Palestinians had been injured, with at least 250 hospitalized. After the 1967 Arab-Israeli War, Israel annexed East Jerusalem, a territory not recognized by most of the international community, but one that Palestinians consider the capital of their future state. So what exactly has been happening on the ground? More than 1,000 rockets have now been fired by Palestinian militants, according to Israel. While Israel has carried out hundreds of airstrikes, destroying 2 tower blocks in Gaza on Tuesday and Wednesday. At least 53 Palestinians and 6 Israelis have reportedly been killed since Monday. Meanwhile, violent unrest in towns in Israel with mixed Jewish and Arab populations has also led to hundreds of arrests, with cities like Lod near Tel Aviv under a state of emergency. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the government would use all of its strength to protect Israel from the enemies outside and those rioting inside, and that Israel would respond with great force.
חמאס והג'יהאד האסלאמי שילמו, ואני אומר לכם כאן, ישלמו מחיר כבד מאוד על התוקפנות שלהם.
So what is happening in Gaza? Hamas, the military wing that controls Gaza, began firing rockets into Israel on Monday night, and Israel responded by hitting targets in the territory. On Wednesday, Israel confirmed the killing of senior Hamas officials in Gaza while targeting missile-launching sites, while Hamas has confirmed the death of its commander in Gaza City in what has been the IDF's largest strike in Gaza since the conflict in 2014. What is happening in Israel? On Wednesday morning, IDF claimed an Israeli soldier was killed by an anti-tank missile fired from Gaza into Israel. While sirens continued to sound in southern Israeli towns and cities on Wednesday afternoon after what the IDF has described as a barrage of rockets fired by Hamas, Israeli police said that there were what it described as violent riots in dozens of areas of the country overnight, in which 270 people were arrested. Synagogues and businesses in Lod were set on fire.